Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Elyssa Cheng. I'm from the Department of Western Languages and Literature, National University of Kaohsiung, Taiwan.
My name is Tsai. I'm affiliated with General Education Center at National University of Kaohsiung.
Today, our presentation is entitled Developing an Intergenerational Learning Project. This essay documents our efforts in building an intergenerational education program for promoting interdisciplinary problem-based learning to develop tertiary students' narrative and literacy skills. The project was funded by the Ministry of Education of Taiwan and run by many education institutions across the island. This project aims to develop students' problem-solving skills in response to Taiwan's growing aging and low birth rate society, and our objective is to team up teachers across disciplines to build up innovative interdisciplinary courses that do not fit into the existing discipline-specific curriculum. Therefore, our aim is problem-based learning with the purpose to identify a real-world problem, to raise learners' awareness, and eventually to come up with solutions to the problem. Therefore, students will learn how to draw on knowledge across disciplines and wide-ranging practical skills. With such a purpose in mind, our first consensus is that we are going to focus on the mental well-being of the seniors in Taiwan's aging society. And our way to solving this problem is by building an intergenerational learning project with a senior education and recreation center at Shilong Elementary School in Kaohsiung, Taiwan. To achieve this aim, students need to integrate a wide range of practical skills, including curriculum, materials design, pedagogy, communication skills, organization skills, marketing and promotion skills, etc. Next, we are going to introduce our target students in this intergenerational learning project and list the benefits that they are going to receive through it. The project opens up a venue for grandparents, seniors to learn together with children. We set up 4 goals for the elderly and children when building up this project. Number 1, we attempt to design our textbook which allows seniors and children to learn the English alphabet with Taiwanese association, such as our scenery, food, utensils, and toys, etc. Number 2, we hope to design a curriculum that can help overcome the solidarity of the elderly and foster intergenerational bonds. Number 3, we intend to create activities that help the senior to promote brain health and avoid the possibility of suffering from dementia. Number 4, through learning together with children, we want to let the elderly feel that they are needed. In the meantime, there are 5 goals that we hope our university student participants can achieve when helping us facilitate this intergenerational learning project. Number 1, learning knowledge and skills across disciplines. Number 2, enhancing their problem-solving skills, including soft skills they need in life and the abilities to integrate different skills. Number 3, learning how to be empathetic, especially for the elderly. Number 4, developing a heightened awareness of the aged society. And number 5, gaining a sense of achievement while helping the elderly and children. Next, we are going to briefly introduce the problem of aging in Taiwan, along with a concise comparison with the current situation of Japan and countries around the world. Currently, 15.67% of Taiwanese is over 65 years old. According to the statistics released by the National Development Council in Taiwan, Taiwan became an aged society in 2018 and will turn into a super-aged society in 2026. Taiwan's aging rate is ranked 38 around the world, with a rate that is similar to those of New Zealand and Australia. Japan ranks number 1 among all the aging countries, with 18.4% of its population over the age of 65.
Thank you, Elyssa, for introducing the motivation of the project and the context in Taiwan. Moving on, I'll be talking about the project itself. The Intergenerational Learning Program was held early this year in the winter, and this is what our program looks like. So it was held in January 21st and 22nd this year in a local elementary school in Kaohsiung. We had 20 dyads of seniors and their grandchildren coming to our events. 12 English majors act as the student teachers to lead the program, and the seniors were regular participants of the seniors program in the local community. We have a group of highly heterogeneous learners with mixed age, aging from 6 to 72 years old, and a mixed ability, mixed levels of English proficiency. Some of them have already learned English for years, while others may not even know all the 26 letters. So the event was 16 hours in total, spread over 2 days. For this program, we use purpose-built materials to teach the English alphabet and the target words. The target words are associated with Taiwanese culture. For example, P for pineapple cake, T for Taiwan bear, instead of the usual P for pig, T for teacher, because this is one of the aims of the project, to link foreign language learning with our native local culture. And this is the purpose-built materials that designed by our students specifically for this program. In terms of the pedagogy, we use the traditional PPP method, presentation, practice, and production. The reason why we chose the traditional PPP method instead of the more popular communicative approach is that we have a highly heterogeneous group of learners. It would be easier to address the different learning needs of different learners with such a generic pedagogy. Having said that, we also included some elements of communicative approach in the overall curriculum design. So for the usual session, first of all, our student teachers would present the letters and the target words associated with it to the learners. And then they would introduce the chant to help learners become more familiar with the letters and the target words. For example, big P, little p, what begins with P? P, 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 pineapple cake. And then they would move on to more practices by assigning collaborative tasks for pairs or groups to complete and help them consolidate the new information. In addition, we have teaching assistants walking around the classroom to help the learners with their tasks. In the production stage, the learners would be asked to demonstrate what they've learned from the session. but with differentiated task demands. The seniors would be asked to recognize the letter, target words, or flashcards, but recognize only. They didn't have to produce or recall the new information. Whereas children would be asked to recall the letters or the target words. With this kind of differentiated task demands for senior and younger participants, we were able to address the different learning needs of different groups. Moving on to the changes brought about by the program. Originally, the plan was to have 2 intergenerational learning events, one in the winter and one in the summer, but the second one was canceled due to the pandemic. So originally, we wanted to put this practice of intergenerational learning into empirical test. So the first event was intended to be a pilot study, while the second one would be formal data collection. But we've only managed to do the first one, so these are only preliminary observations that we made in our first event. We've observed some positive changes taking place. For our younger participants, of course, they learned the alphabet and the target words associated with Taiwanese culture, and reducing the stigma of aging. But most importantly, after learning with their grandparents, the children seem to regard their grandparents as learning partners or learning buddies instead of simply caretakers, as they used to be. So there's this sense of collaboration, partnership between the seniors and their grandchildren, and there's also this kind of intergenerational solidarity. As for our senior participants, even though they were slower in picking up new information, new letters, new target words, but we observed that they were very resourceful, very strategic in using their mental capacities, cognitive capacities, to make up for rote memorization. For example, one of the strategies that we observe they use is the metacognitive strategy of planning. In one of the language tasks, the learners were asked to color a mystery picture. So this is what a mystery picture looks like. The learners were asked to color the boxes according to instructions, and then in the end, they'll be able to tell what mystery picture this is. So we observed that children would go straight to color the boxes without thinking about the big picture, whereas some seniors were observed to plan ahead by marking the boxes with dots. This is what I meant by marking the boxes with dots of different colors. So what they were trying to do is they were trying to imagine. They were trying to form a mental picture before actual coloring. So this is what I meant by using the metacognitive strategy of planning. Another instance of using metacognitive strategy is the use of monitoring strategy. In another task, the learners were asked to do a scavenger hunt. They were asked to search for natural materials like leaves, petals in the campus to make an artwork of an English letter. So children would get carried away with the treasure hunt. They were very excited and lose sight of the task demands, whereas seniors would check what they have at hand against the task demands. They would constantly ask the student teachers for clarifications. They would ask for the size of the materials, the weight of the materials, to see if they're on the right track. So this is what I meant by using metacognitive strategy of monitoring. They were actually monitoring their own progress against task demands along the way. Finally, as I mentioned earlier, this project was intended to be a pilot study, so the findings are only preliminary. In the future, we still look forward to putting what we have so far into empirical tests in order to understand the ways in which different generations can benefit from intergenerational learning programs. So we hope to gather more empirical data, including performance data, how they actually learn from this kind of program, and different types of language tasks. Also, their perception on how they feel about events like this. And of course, we will continue to refine the intergenerational learning project towards more age-friendly, more complementary intergenerational learning, and hopefully uses the respective strengths of the seniors and their children to their best advantage. Thank you very much for coming to our session. We welcome any comments, feedback you may have on our project.
Thank you very much. We now open the floor for questions. Please to take your questions.